Welcome back, guys, to Kicking Ass with Tanner Stone with co-host Xander Plotkin and me, myself, Tanner. And we have a special guest, Lola. Welcome.
What's up?
So I actually met Lola like 2 years ago when I was going off-roading, and she was in like a stuck car. Like her car got stuck. She was with these like random
Yeah.
people.
I got my friend's Tacoma stuck. Two-wheel drive. Did not recommend. Like,
Yeah, you need that for.
Literally like 2 weeks later, I knew like what type of person Lola was when she asked me to go on a trip to Jupiter with her. Like we're literally strangers, and then we end up going on a trip together. And she tells me like, I'm not going to go to college. Like, I don't even like high school. And she was saying all this stuff. And like, when you hear that stuff, you're like, all right, this person might be a loser, or they're going to be really, really successful. And she did it. She'll tell you, how do you do it?
okay, so backtrack to 2 years ago. I was a junior and I graduated high school last year. I'm currently 19. Basically, I never felt like I wanted to be part of the school system. I was always like trying to figure out how can I hack the system? How am I gonna graduate and figure out what I want to do with the rest of my life? Like we're all so young, and I knew I didn't want to go to college and figure it out and delay my dreams an extra 4 years. Like I had big dreams and I had places I wanted to go. So that's what I did. I fully like skipped all the SATs, ACTs, all the tests. I was like, I don't want to be any part of the system. I felt like oppressed in a one size fits all system. And with someone like me that's super creative and always on the move, it just didn't work for me. So one thing led to the next. I missed a lot of school. I ended up graduating though, which is good. I did get my diploma, but I had them ship it to me. And then I started to travel, solo travel, which led me to learn a lot about myself. And yeah, so that's basically how it started. First things first, I was managing a surf camp in my hometown. I grew up in East Boca Raton, Florida, Palm Beach County, and I always grew up like loving wellness, having a passion for wellness, my overall health, the ocean, because we live right on like we're literally like 2 steps away from the beach right now. We can hear the waves. So I just have that connection with surfing, swimming. I was into yoga my whole life too. So I'm really passionate about like movement, wellness. So I knew that thing. That's one thing I knew about myself with like a billion other passions. So basically, my summer right after graduating high school last year, I reacted badly to this product at the sun. I had like blisters all over my arms. I was like, what am I going to do? I'm literally just managing a surf camp right now. Like, what am I going to do? I'm in the ocean. I start my day in the ocean every day as well. So I was like, oh shoot, what do I do? So my dermatologist was like, yeah, you have to stay out of the sun in the ocean for a minimum of 2 weeks for your skin to heal. I was like, great. So with me just being forced to sit inside my house with my thoughts, which I never ever do, like I'm always on the go. I go home to sleep and that's it. The rest of the day, I'm up at 6 running 150 miles an hour from 6 a.m. to whenever I crash to my pillow. So that was something new for me. And it just showed me that when doors close and when you get like when an issue comes into your life, it always leads you to something better and having like an awakening, some doors close for reasons. So that ended. And then I thought to myself, what if I just go somewhere random where I know no one and just experience a whole new lifestyle away from the ocean? First of all, so I don't feel the need to jump in the ocean and be in the sun all day. So basically, like, threw a dart at the map and ended up like 5 miles under Wyoming, Steamboat Springs, Colorado. It's a little known for the skiing and the snowboarding, but keep in mind this is during summer, so I didn't know anybody. I hopped in the plane like the next week, and with my blisters on my arm, I was like, I'll heal up in the mountains where I'm away from the ocean. I met these kids in the mountains, like at the ski resort. We were camping, mountain biking, climbing for 2 months straight. When I was like, yeah, I'll Colorado for 2 weeks, went with a carry-on, ended up staying there. This is all the journey leading me to, I basically started my own business. That's coming. I've never been in the mountains, never like hiked these crazy hikes, been in the waterfalls. Like it was just a whole new thing. Learned a lot about different people, and even just in the US itself, like there's so many different like lifestyles. You have everyone's wearing the cowboy boots and everyone goes to the rodeo, and people just have different hobbies and ways of saying things and doing things. So it was interesting. And basically one of my friends from Chile called me up randomly when I was like in the mountains doing something. And he goes, Lola, where are you at in the world? Keep in mind, I met this kid in Florida like maybe like a year ago. He was visiting. And he goes, I'm doing this road trip from Florida to LA with my other friend from Chile, and we're getting our place ready for UCLA. I'm like, oh, so cool, but I'm not in Florida right now. Like, we can't hang out, whatever. Then when they're like almost near Colorado, they end up calling me again. They're like, look, we're like a few hours away from Colorado. Can we detour and pick you up? It'll be like at 3 in the morning, but if you're down, like let me know. I'm like, I'm so down. Like no questions asked. If you're like, get in the car, let's go skydiving, get in the car. Like I'm down for experience. Life is meant to be experienced to the fullest, and that's how I take every day. Every day is filled to the brim. Like people are like, how do you even sleep? I'm like, sometimes, but um, so yeah, I was like, yep. I said bye to all my friends that I made in Colorado. I left one of my suitcases there with like my gear, my for the mountains and stuff, my tent, my sleeping bag, all that stuff. I left it at a friend's house in that one carry-on suitcase I brought. I got two empty suitcases at like a local store down the street because I was like, you know what? Barely came here with anything. I'm gonna just leave most of my stuff here and get things in every state along the way. So like I got cowboy boots in one state, clothes, bathing suits, and I only had like one bathing suit with me at this point because I just didn't plan on living there for 2 months. Ended up going to Arizona, sandboarding, sand dunes, salt flats, running around. Started filming more of my lifestyle and like kind of grew my following a teensy bit more. And yeah, Utah, Arizona, met a bunch of people like off roading and like kind of like climbing and hopping into underwater caves and doing a bunch of unexpected things. We were just, going with the flow, flowing through life, seeing where it takes us, meeting cool strangers along the way, staying in the most random places. And that led me to LA. And so then from LA, this is a whole long story. Like, I'm so sorry, but
No, you're good.
it's
It's interesting.
interesting. Yeah, it is interesting. Not the typical experience right after high school. Like 18-year-old girl. Everyone like doubts you too. They're like, "Are you sure you're doing this? Like, are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure." It's
And the
all about
journey, the journey always leads you somewhere too.
exactly. You have to trust the process 100%. And if you feel wrong about a certain place or situation, obviously you just don't turn that way. But it's just beautiful. Like the decisions you make are so crucial in life. As little as I feel like turning left instead of right today. I literally listen to that. I listen to how I feel. I'm like, today I feel like walking in here. And I always run into strangers for a reason. I feel like you get put on the path for a reason.
Yeah.
You just have to follow your gut. That's basically what the whole thing of this is. So when I was in LA, I was there for we got there in the afternoon. They were getting their place together and their furniture got delayed like a week. And I was like, great, we're gonna be sleeping on their floor for a week. I had a flight booked to Maui 2 weeks after that. I was planning to stay in LA for 2 weeks and just go out to Maui to surf. But then I basically got my flight changed the next morning. I was like, Maui's calling me. I'm so like impulsive. I was like, you know what? Called the airline, changed it to like 6 in the morning. And I was like, bring me to LAX at 6 in the morning. But I still had a whole afternoon to experience LA. So I was like, all right, guys, good luck with furniture. I need to go off and explore LA. We're in Santa Monica area near the pier. They like literally lived like a mile away from Santa Monica Pier. There was Venice Skate Park. So I like biked around the pier and like along the beach, jumped in the ocean. Dolphins literally swam by me. It was kind of cold, but it was fun. And then I
This is still like around 2 years ago.
no, this was right after high school. Like fast forward right after graduation, how I skipped graduation, got my diploma mailed to me after the skin reaction that was like gonna
So the
ruin my
end of your
life.
trip, kind of.
This is like the end of this trip in the like on the mainland and then led me to Maui. So like I went to all these events literally the day in LA.
Did you get the reaction when you were in LA?
What do you mean? No, like it was already healed by then, but I just kept going. I felt like passionate to keep going and keep adventuring. I was like, I'm going to keep going and see where this leads me. LA, went to photography events, met content creators. Next morning, fly out to Maui. The first week of me living there, not knowing anyone on Maui, I met this aromatherapist in this fruit garden, like farmer's market up in a little valley. And she was like, what are you doing here? But we basically became friends. She's like 60 years old. Her name is Jennifer. She has a little skincare lab and a skincare line for anti-aging and acne and all this stuff. And she has a friend that started it with her, a dermatologist. And aromatherapy is basically like everything with oils. And she's very like holistic and into Ayurveda and wellness and health. So she started her all natural like anti-aging line. And I was like, wow, I'm so passionate about this. I used to go to this little aromatherapy shop like 5 minutes from my house every week and talk to this old lady that owns her little aromatherapy shop. She would like blend her own soaps and stuff like that. So I was really into that. And I was like, well, where's your lab and this and that? And found out she lived a mile away from where I was staying. And so she invited me to her house and then the lab, and I started learning and formulating her product with her. And she would sell them locally around the island. Everyone loved her. And then that's when I started thinking, do you do sunscreen? Because back home in Boca, when I was going to my dermatologist, I was talking about sunscreen and different products, and I would bounce off ideas with my derm at home. She's like, "This is such a good idea. Like, just start formulating." So I started like formulating my own stuff, and back in like sophomore year of high school, I like only use what I make, and she was like loving it. She's like, "We got to figure out your sunscreen." So then that's when I did it in Maui. I was like, I've always wanted to make my own sunscreen. I just don't know how to formulate, like where to start, what to do. So from learning how to formulate all the products she was doing, we were melting CBD and doing all this stuff that I loved. And we basically put together a sunscreen within 6 months. I got all these kids on the Red Bull windsurf team that I was like sailing around with to wear it. And then I also went like North Shore because it's like a 30-minute flight to Oahu from
What's
Maui
your next audience going to be that you're going to go for to wear it?
to wear it. Okay, at first I felt that it was going to be for your spa girl because it's literally, so this is like one of my bottles right here. It's called Malolo Sun and it's all natural. I was thinking, oh, it's for your spa girl. Like, yeah, that's the market. But no, when I was on Maui, all these guys fishing, like spearfishing, surfing, diving, guys in the office. Like that's when I started to learn like this is actually turning into something. I got like connected in like the surf community and was surfing every day, like wearing it, and people were starting to question. And then I grew the following, and I'm like, oh wait, I need to actually turn this into a real business. Why not? Like, I love it. So that's basically where I was at with it.
Do
And
you produce out of that lab still?
I not anymore. Sadly, like that whole side of the west side of Maui was in it had that huge fire happen
Oh yeah.
recently. So that's all like a mess. And so that's where I started blending though. And now I'm literally blending in my house. It's only a few ingredients. It's raspberry, carrot, sunflower, vitamin E, collagen, and zinc. So the antioxidants and the collagen and the carrot, like everything, it's raspberry oil based and it's like healing for your skin. The carrot helps you tan, and there's nothing formulated like it in the world. Like it's the first of its kind. It's like starting a whole new market. Basically, like the whole idea for it is to I basically decided to step off the path and get out of the box. And I was wondering, like, why hasn't this been made before? Because people are so used to, oh, like the Neutrogena and all this other stuff, which is dermatologist approved. And when really it's just full of chemicals. Like,
Yeah, you can't even pronounce the
if you
ingredients.
flip it around, you would think like, oh, yeah, avobenzone, this, that, like a word with like 15 letters in it.
Exactly.
That's definitely going to be good for you,
And
right? No,
your
like
skin does absorb those chemicals. It's an organ.
your
So,
skin is the largest organ.
yeah,
So, and everything, it's like ingesting. Whatever you put on your skin, it's just like as if you ingest it. It
exactly.
soaks right into your body and has all these effects on you. Like putting all these chemicals on your body is just going to cause all these internal issues. And people get cancer and all these, just all from the toxic chemicals that are in the sunscreen, which is why most people that care about their health don't wear sunscreen because they can't find anything out there for them that's like healing, doesn't make them break out, doesn't burn your eyes and make you cry all day, doesn't look super, super white and make like people can't find it. So I was like, it's not out there, so I got to make a difference. And the further we step away from nature and, mess around with what we're given on this like earth, then the worse is going to be for us. You think like us putting a bunch of chemicals together is going to be the solution for our skin. It's not. I feel like the skincare like situation is all backwards. Like the whole world of skincare, simpler the better. The closer we tap into the natural products, the better, the more vibrant we're going to become. And it's just all of it's so backwards. And I want to change the way that people view these products that they're using every single day.
Or are you just gonna stick with sunscreen? You're gonna go more broad and go with other things.
So I started this like 6 months ago. I was on Maui for 6 months, and I started noticing I was doing well. I'm really like sunscreen is my thing. Like I'm taking this. This is my baby. I'm like learning so much. I've learned. I made my website logo. Figured out like all like the forms I had to do. Like everything. I figured it all out. And this is like my guinea pig, and it's doing well. It's like if you can sell 1,000 of your product, you have a business. And I'm already profitable within 3 months of selling my stuff. Like I'm already in locally Nomad Surf Shop. It was created in like 1964. It's a really well known, amazing surf shop on A1A. I'm in the Opal Grand Beach Resort, yoga studios, gyms, energy healing center. Like I'm like trickling it out into the world. And basically I'm starting with this one just to really learn. And I've learned quick by connecting and getting mentored by strangers that I talk to on the daily. I never know who I'm going to talk to. So I'm like walking down the street, I meet a guy that's into marketing, and now we're like really good friends, and he teaches me everything I need to know. Oh, this is the next step. This is the next step. Funny thing is I met this one guy that I happened to meet him like right by his office, and he started showing me all his systems and like how he formulated his marketing company. And he literally like grew up with nothing. Like you have to have the self drive to get to where you want to go. He started off in Fort Lauderdale, like poor, and then built up this multi-million-dollar marketing company. And he's just mentoring me, and yeah, that's basically like where I'm at right now. So it's
Um,
exciting.
so I have a question. So
Yeah,
for the skin for like the sunscreen company,
yeah.
where are you manufacturing it now that you're
So
not out of Maui?
currently, I'm literally making this in a room in my house. So the oils, I just buy the organic oils, the raspberry, the carrot, sunflower. Like I said, vitamin E, zinc. It's so simple and easy to make. And once I get to a level where I need to make like 10,000 bottles in a day, then yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Like I have people that know people, and it's just like it's just the start, and I'm really passionate about it, and I have a vision. So I feel like that's half of it. If you have the vision, you're passionate about it, and you stick with it, you can get far, further than you think. And so many people have told me, like, I know so many entrepreneurs. I went to a Surf Expo by myself. I'm the type of person that I don't wait around. I just go and do it, like 100%. So I like woke up at 5 in the morning the other day. Surf Expo was like a couple weeks ago. And it's basically like a huge trade show with, like Billabong and all these surf brands and like upcoming people. And met this lady. She was like, all you gotta do is keep going, keep going, keep going. And I ran into this lady that I actually heard about the day before I went to that expo. Her name is Ellie Vale. This lady that created this like waterproof jewelry brand. This guy at a smoothie shop was like, this is like really all over the place, but this guy at a smoothie shop was like, I used to work with this lady's husband, and now she's literally like a multimillionaire with her business. And I met her like at the trade show. Keep in mind, I don't want to get in trouble for this, but I didn't have a badge for the trade show or a code or anything. I literally woke up like because I heard about the trade show the day before, woke up on that Sunday, was like, I don't have a badge, I don't have a lanyard or anything to get in. I don't know who's there, but I'm gonna find a way to get in. So basically, like, I didn't sneak in, but I walked up to one of the guards and I was like, hey, like my badge is down there. You have to like keep pushing and see what doors open, see what doors close. If it didn't work out, obviously it wasn't meant to be, but I'm the kind of person that like pushes the limits to see where it takes me. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And then I keep pushing. Like, don't listen to the no's. Don't listen to advice from everyone, because it's gonna just drown you and distract you. You have to like, yourself best, and you just have to keep pushing forward. That's what the jewelry lady told me. That's what everyone tells me. And a bunch of strangers that are like doing it. They're out there running their business. They're successful. Telling me I have the it. I'm genuine. I'm real. And that's like, if you're genuine and you're real and you're passionate about something, you have to run 100 million miles per hour and just never give up. Keep going. That's basically where I'm at right now. It's so fresh, but I'm so excited because it's already going somewhere, and I just have a vision and I have so many more ideas, but this is the first step to me getting to where I really want to be, and I just want to make a positive world change. So,
Yeah, I really like it so far. I think the biggest thing is that you've solved a problem. And whenever you solve a problem, there's always a very rewarding price that comes with that. And you solved an issue that needed to be solved because you're right. I mean, I found it personally speaking, not even sunscreen. I feel like when I would use like skin products growing up, every time I'd put all that stuff in like cleansing, like face wash, I'd always break out. And it made no sense. But when I'd use face wash, I'd break out, and I wouldn't, when I didn't touch my face for 2 weeks and just showered, like I would have no acne. So it was kind of, I remember noticing that when I was growing up.
yeah, and I grew up with I've like this is my natural hair color too. Like I get fried, like my skin just reacts to everything. And every time I use sunscreen every day on my face at least. So,
Kind of like your sister, Xander.
Yeah, my sister's very pale, and but my
oh
dad's a
really?
dermatologist, so my dad just tells her don't go in the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, and the sun, you get the sunspots, you're gonna age. The first signs of aging are from the sun. Like you don't want to age, wear sunscreen. That's like one of the things.
Anti-aging's basically impossible. The only way to stop aging is to wear sunscreen. Yeah.
Exactly. And everyone wants to stay looking good, but then half the people are like, but all the sunscreens are so toxic. Like, yeah. So I was like, well, here's something missing, and I'm going to do something about it. If no one else is, I'm going to do it. Me against the whole system.
When you started this product, did you get any guidance or help from your parents?
I'm like kind of like the exotic oddball out in my family. Like, my parents are school people. My mom grew up in France, though, in Versailles, right near Paris, and studied abroad, but still did school. She was just living in like Italy and England. So I think that's kind of where I get it from, where I'm like super spontaneous and want to see the world, want to genuinely connect with everyone and make a difference in the world. So I think that's kind of where I get it. But my parents like didn't even know what I was doing. I would call them and be like, "Oh yeah, like I'm on Maui." They just have to trust me, and it was time for me to spread my wings and just go off and do what I'm meant to do in the world. And that was not me being stuck in the school system right now. So I always told myself, I just need to go travel and figure myself out, and it's all gonna work out if you just trust yourself and surround yourself with where you want to become and where you want to be, then that's key. Like the only people I surround myself with a lot of older people that are out there doing something special or doing something. They're entrepreneurs. They're all older than me and have like life experience because I want to surround myself with people that aren't being bums and like I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. Not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I have goals and I have a path and a vision that I want to stay on. So me like being distracted by all these people that are confused in school. Like a lot of people I know are just in school, like confused, and they're like, I feel like I'm wasting my time and my money. And that's just a situation that I did not want to put myself in. And whenever I feel like I'm in a system or in a box, I always find myself trying to figure out how to get out of that box. So this is like really how I started to think about how can I change the world of skincare. That's the first thing. It's a huge issue right now. So,
That's really cool.
And you said you wanted to. When I talked to you like before this, you said
mhm.
you want to move to LA to get noticed. Like,
Okay.
what's your big plan right there?
Okay, my big plan, right? This today's plan. There's a new plan. There's a new idea every 5 minutes. So today's idea. No, it's been an idea for the past few weeks, though, to be honest. But so I have some friends in LA. Obviously, I road trip with these kids that are now living in LA, and I have some other friends at UCLA, other people that are pursuing their acting careers and singing and all the modeling. I have some influencer friends that like blew up on TikTok and have like 3 million followers, and they're all just living out there, living their best life, and just doing social media full time. So I thought to myself, LA is where everything's happening right now. So I was there for a day and so many amazing things happened. I went to events, got invited to a content creator party, filmed a YouTube video, swam in the ocean. I was like so hyped up in LA. I was like, I need to go back. When the time is right, I will go back. So recently I've been home to regroup and like get all my stuff together, my website redone, and figure out like the next step. That and I only left Maui because it was just super slow and I wanted to really create this into something huge. I'm shooting for the stars with it. So now I'm thinking of the next step for me is marketing. When you have a product, it's all marketing, social media, especially today,
Do
all
you
social
have
media.
someone that's like telling you, all right, your next step is this, or you're looking at your product and you're saying, all right, let's do this?
Basically, I'm just like I'm talking to people about it that have their own businesses, but no one that I know is doing what I'm doing. So it's all like kind of what I feel is right. And what I feel is right now is that I need to blow up my social media and get people online. I need to get more influencers on board. I need to personally like gain a lot of follow. I'm at like 10,000 something right now on Instagram, which is nowhere near enough to, get out into the world. So I need to just be more on TikTok, Instagram, all over social media. And I feel like by me spending,
Do you
yeah,
feel like you get more orders online or the stores you're in?
the stores I'm in, I'm doing well. Like the past 3 months, I've made good profit off of it. But I need to direct more traffic to my website and if I can do that organically, I would love that. And since it's just the beginning, like paying like thousands and thousands of dollars, like on like ads and stuff is like, I'm going to get to that point. But if I can do this through social media right now, which is so possible, I just need to figure out a way to blow up and get people to know.
Yeah, and organically is like doing it the most. That's the best way to do it because then the
Right.
people that are there genuinely like care and they want to
Yeah.
they want to use the product.
And everyone that's used my product, like some people that have in Texas, like refer to it as liquid gold. Like everyone loves, like my dermatologist loves it. I consulted with this Ayurvedic physician from India. He comes on world tours. He like came to Delray and I consulted with him and he loved the product. Everyone's eyes light up when they use it. So I'm like, I have something here. So, and now I've been talking to my friends in LA. I'm like, I really want to blow up my social media and get this going, get people to know about it so they can use something that's actually going to work for them. So I'm thinking of starting to spend some time in LA, like bounce around, because I'm really like in between Miami and here a lot, trying to get connected in Miami because stuff is going on all the time with their events, and I've been networking every day, and I feel like if I spend like a week out of every month in LA to just connect and go to all these events and put myself out there, potentially that would be a good idea. Like I have this one friend, obviously she's older than me. She has this energy drink company. She has it in that grocery store called like Air One or something, like the Hailey Bieber smoothie shop. I don't even know what it is.
Her name's Logan Paul.
What? Anyway, so she sold like an underwear company for like $100 million recently, and now she has an energy drink company, and
Wow.
she's like always in LA and New York, and I'm like, I want to get to that point, and I just need to put myself out there and continue to keep moving forward, post daily, because at this point, I really just need to be all over social media to get to where I want to get to. So,
I feel like you have more followers in person than you do in social media. Like you keep
right?
saying about all these people you meet. How do you meet these people? Like, do you just go up to them?
I'm literally like a popular loner because I have like certain people that I'll stick around to that, because I value like time is number one. Like I value my time. I'm like constantly like trying to figure out the next step for where I want to be and stuff. But I do have like close people in my life, but I also have like know everybody around, like everywhere. I just feel like one of the most valuable things you can do is connect. And I feel like in today's world, real genuine connection is so rare. I feel like everyone's turning into robots and I'm so scared of the future because everything is like, so I feel as if the systems are controlling us more than we are controlling the systems, and everyone's on autopilot. Like, all right, first I wake up, do this, go to my 9 to 5, which is nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, but then it's like,
But you should have like bigger goals past it. Like you should
right, right.
it should that should be gearing you to where you want to be.
Yeah, it's like people live on autopilot. It's like, hey, how are you? Good. And yourself? Oh, good. What's your name? What's your birthday? Great. Like no one is actually like caring.
I've thought of that though. Like I think about that sometimes, but at the end of the day, I don't think not everybody wants it. Not everybody's that ambitious. Some people just want to.
Right. Which is hard for me to understand because I'm so passionate about connection And I feel like it's so important to get to know people around you. And who cares? Like, all right, yesterday, to explain, I there was this guy, this kid. He's I turns out he's 21. I found out today. But he was in this bright orange Lamborghini, and we were just talking because he was in the pump right in front of me. And then I find out like he's like just moving here. He's from New York. His parents are from Italy, and he started his like product company for cars, and he has a car shop in New York, and he's now getting a place here in Boca. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And we're both like young entrepreneurs and have a similar mindset. So if we hadn't started talking to each other, who knows? Now we're like hanging out in Miami tomorrow. So, and he was also on his way to Miami at the same time as me, except he was meeting up with some like influencers that he had to like meet up with. And I was on my way to shoot content for Malolo on a boat. So we're both like, we would just cross paths. And
How did you come up with your name? With the name?
the name. Oh, I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay. So I was working on this sailing catamaran for like 2 weeks on Maui, just island hopping, and there was a bunch of different people that I was meeting. I was meeting like multiple people a day on that catamaran. And then I met these kids from the Red Bull windsurf team, some people from Fiji, and everyone started calling me Malolo. So my name's Lola, and Malolo sounds like Lola. So they were like, oh, we're calling you Malolo. I'm like, what's Malolo? And these kids from Fiji were like, oh, it's a word from Fiji. It means natural beauty and tranquility. And it really resonated with me. And I was literally like ocean view stairmaster at my gym in Maui. And I thought to myself, whoa. And when I'm in movement, I get ideas. Like when I'm on the go, when I'm like moving around, my mind moves faster. And when it just moves a lot faster. So I'm like stairmaster, looking at the ocean. I'm like, yeah, Malolo Sun. That was like a week after I started blending with this lady and got connected to all these Red Bull kids that were on tour, and everyone on the island called me Malolo. The kids from Fiji, the kids on Maui, kids from the Canary Islands, North Shore, you name it. Everyone was like Malolo, not Lola, Malolo. So it was my nick. It's Malolo is me. Like I live and breathe Malolo. It's my lifestyle. So it's kind of, I love the name. It's so beautiful and unique, and there's a story behind it, which I'm like, sometimes I wonder, like, how do people come up with their business names? Do they just sit in their room and they're like, this one check, this one check? Like, I've ideas just come to you. I mean, they come to me. I don't ever just sit and think. Sometimes I'll just be like looking off into the distance, or I'll hear something, or I'll notice something, and then I go, wait, this is a good idea. And then I have like a whole list of ideas, and I talk to myself all the time in my phone. I have like idea number one, place number two, like this idea, like
Where do you write it all down in your notes app?
I have a journal that I fill with ideas. For example, this week's new idea. I don't have a patent on it, so I'm just going to talk about it, and someone's probably going to steal it on here. But oh well, I hope you do. And just let me know how it goes. But I was looking at this banana tree in my yard, and I love banana trees. I think they're the most beautiful trees ever. And I notice everything. So I'm looking at the banana leaf. I'm like, I wonder what happens when all the bananas come off the tree. Like, and then I realized, well, when all the bananas come off the tree, no more bananas can be produced. So the tree is dead. It gets chopped down and gets thrown out. I'm like, what? What if I created sustainable packaging out of banana trees, because there's so much banana tree waste? And so that was just this week's new business idea. But I gotta stay focused.
That's a good idea.
Right? Isn't that a good idea? I'm like,
But how long do they last for?
what do you mean?
Like until they start disintegrating and like getting
Well,
rotten?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't done too much research. I just know it's not a thing, and I don't know
Definitely
how
not
to.
a thing.
It's not a thing. I looked it up actually this weekend. There's this school or this lab in Australia that's like testing it out recently, and I couldn't find anything on Google. I'm like, wow, did I just come up with another whole new brand new idea? Like we could be making boxes and cards and packaging for all these products.
Next thing you know, like Jeff Bezos is knocking on your door.
I know, like, oh, I mean, I don't know anyone that makes packaging. I don't know if I would have to like start like melting banana trees and like molding them with different like emulsify. I don't even know, because I'm still learning about my first business idea. But this is like the true start to a lot. I know I'm meant to like go out into the world and make a difference, and this just happened to flow to me. It just came to me. Everything worked out. There's this thing on the island. It's as if if it's kicking you away, you'll know. Like things are just not going to work out. But everything was working out for me. I
Did
met
you
this
run into
yoga.
any issues? Like, what was your biggest issue?
There was no, I'm telling you right now, I say every day out loud, everything works out for me. And whatever you say out loud is so powerful, or even the thoughts you have are extremely powerful. I know that you guys talked about this on a previous episode where the little girl or someone talks to the plant on the left positively with kind words, and the plant on the right with the same sunlight, same water, negative mindset, negative words. One of them thrives and the other one dies. So that's the same thing with life experience. I mean, you got to go into experience with a positive mindset, because that changes the whole experience for you. It's like so real. So I went to Maui knowing that everything was going to work out for me. No matter what, I'm going to figure everything out. And literally within the first month of me living in Maui, I was living in this girl's house on West Side Maui. They were going to school in California and just had a house there. And it was just like these girls my age, and it was so fun. We were exploring, but I was like, I want to keep exploring. I went to this yoga studio a few miles away. It was like Island Spirit Yoga. I don't even know if I should be saying the name, but Island Spirit Yoga, this little island yoga studio. I showed up to this lady's class. Her name is Kim. She's one of the coolest ladies ever. Her and I started talking for 2 hours. No one came to her class but me. And I'm super into yoga. We're talking about everything you could even imagine about life. She has a daughter in high school, and she's like, "You should come horse riding with us. They have horses." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And then she ends up saying to me, "If you need somewhere to stay, like I have this beachfront property with a treehouse and a guest house, like you can stay there." Basically gave me the keys to their house because they have a place in Chicago and other
I feel
states.
like you never ever have a plan. Just you just go into stuff and just stuff happen.
Stuff happens. And yeah, so I got given the keys to this beachfront property, beautiful property. Sometimes I would sleep in the treehouse, wake up, look at the waves, go surf in the morning, go to Honolulu Bay, climb down the cliff, surf my first session, then go to a different beach, maybe DT Fleming's or something. Stearns was a nice one too. And so I would surf, do yoga, blend sunscreen, learn about formulating product and aromatherapy, and repeat. And I was into jujitsu, and this guy literally had an extra Tacoma. This is a whole story. I was like at this like moped place, bought myself a moped, and became like friends with the guy that co-owned this moped shop, and he literally gave me the keys to his Tacoma. So not only did I have a lifted Tacoma for free, I had a house for free, I had a moped, and then I also met this stranger on the street that owned a foil boarding company, and they happened to be really good with friends with Paris Hilton. He was like literally on the phone with Paris Hilton. When I met him, they were like talking about like some fashion thing, fashion week or whatever, and they have this like storefront with foil boards, and they invited me to go foiling with them, e-foiling, which is like they're like $20,000 boards. So I got like, and then he ended up like adopting me, him and his wife. They're like bodybuilders and they own businesses and they're really successful and hop around all the time. Similar mindset to me. They end up giving me the keys to their board loft. So I had access to like 30 surfboards, like 20 foil boards, and didn't have to buy a board over there. I literally had the key. So truck, keys to a board loft, beachfront property, tree house, access to a lab.
How
What?
long were you in Hawaii at this point?
I ended up staying in Maui for 6 months until I felt it was time for me to go
But
and
at this point,
actually.
like right what were you talking
This
about right
was
now?
second month in. First month I was, with these girls my age, and I met so many amazing people out on the ocean too. Like, oh, the ocean is my home. I met this one guy that was a skydive instructor and had a motorcycle, and literally gave me a tour of the whole island on the motorcycle. And I was supposed to go skydiving this one day that one of the friends that I made on the island was like going home the next day, and I was like, you won't believe it. I met the skydive instructor, and we surfed for 6 hours, went on a bamboo forest hike, and took his motorcycle around the island. And she's like, no way, text him right now because I'm leaving in the afternoon tomorrow, and I want to go skydiving. I text this guy, I'm like, can we go skydiving at like 5 in the morning? He goes, yeah. And this guy's like from some island near Australia. He's the coolest guy I've ever met. And he goes, yeah, let's see how the weather's in the morning and we can go. I was so scared. I told myself I would never go skydiving unless it's super last second and like a once in a lifetime opportunity, which this was. Going skydiving in Hana with this girl that you just became friends with 2 weeks ago and this guy that you met from Australia in the ocean. I'm like, this has to happen. So we wake up, the weather's terrible. She goes home to Colorado, and to this day I still haven't gone skydiving, but my time will come, like yeah.
With no plan, you're gonna go skydiving.
With
It's
no
just gonna
plan.
happen.
Tanner, you should just call me one day and just be like, Lola, let's go skydiving right
Maybe.
now. And I'll be like, okay, I'm down, let's go. like, but yeah, so basically my life recently has just been putting my product in stores, like I said, the yoga studios. The Opal Grand Beach Resort was one of the ones I was like most excited for because it's a literal beach resort in Delray on the Ave. And I was like, wow, I always go into these places and like I see all these products and I never expected me to be putting in my own product in this beach resort. Like I go here just to go to the pool and stuff, and now I have it literally in front of me for sale. Like people can get this. Like it's my actual creation that I formulated, and nothing's ever easy, but it definitely is way easier than I thought it was going to be. And you can't fail unless if you don't try, you fail. You can at least try, and you'll never fail because you tried. You know what I mean? So
So throughout your life, you're saying how everything always works out for a reason. So that means, do you think you have no regrets?
no regrets ever. And I feel like you regret more that you don't do than the things you do. So if you ever think back to a situation, oh, I should have, I could have, like, if you feel like doing something, 100% go do it. Because in reality, there's no yesterday and there's no tomorrow. There's only right now, this second. So what are you going to do with your time? How are you going to spend your time? Who are you going to spend it with,
No,
So
exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna go to sleep after that. That's all I'm gonna do.
that sounds like me too. I've been trying to go to sleep
I'm gonna go
earlier.
study. So you guys are both missing out.
You got this. We believe in you.
So run through your morning. You wake up at 6, and what do you do?
Right. So, okay. So, ever since all this crazy stuff has been happening in my life, I started to notice like the power you have within yourself. You have so much value that you can bring to the world and to your life. You just have to be willing to accept it and open your eyes to see what you can do. So, I started meditating and journaling and doing more yoga. So I wake up, like write my goals, my intentions, my desires for the day, the week, and like my ideas, everything. I like manifest, right? So everything that's happened the past 2 months, like for example, I went on this trip to the Bahamas completely paid for like 2 months ago and like got a penthouse and everything because I fully manifested it. I was like, I'm going to the Bahamas soon. And you get specific with it. You're like, so I start every day with the most basic ones. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I'm wealthy. I attract happiness, health, and wealth. Everything that's meant to be in my life stays and comes in, flows in. Everything that's not meant to be will quickly, calmly, and quietly exit, please. And just like that, every day. And you just believe in what you're doing and just envision where you want to be. Really stay focused and just, I feel like if you're happy and healthy and calm and you have peace in your life, that's all that you can ask for, and everything else is just extra, right? So I believe like wealth is experience and health, and if the money flows in, just like with this product, with this brand I started, it's like it's not a money driven movement. It's a movement to want to make a positive change in the world and just make a difference, right? And with that, the money flows. So yeah.
So you wake up at 6. You say stuff in the mirror
Yeah.
and say good stuff about
Right.
yourself. You write.
Meditate, yoga, and I go to the beach. I literally start my morning. I jump in the ocean every morning because the minerals and the sunlight, like the early morning sunlight, you should always rise with the sun. That's what we're meant to do. And it feels so good to start my day early every day because I feel so much more productive, like early in the morning when no one's out. I jump in the ocean because it's literally healing. Like I go in the ocean, I feel like a brand new person. And in the shoreline, it's all positive ions, like the technology and everything else that we're surrounded with. A lot of the thing is all negative ions. So you jump in the ocean, you're already starting your day off on a good note. You're grounding yourself in the sand, like walking around barefoot. That's already like a really good start to your day. And yeah, start in nature. Start with the intention of having a good day, and hopefully your day goes in that direction. If things come your way, figure it out along the way. But at least you know that you started your day off in a positive way. You can always make time for yourself too. I feel like making time for yourself is so important. Like, let's say you have to do something you have school at 8 a.m. or you have work at 8 a.m., then wake up an hour earlier and go to the gym or go for a run. Like, I always change up my schedule too, because I feel like too much of the same is never good. So I'm constantly like changing something up. And I try to do one new thing every day and talk to a minimum of 3 new strangers a day, making genuine connections. So that's kind of like my daily thing.
How do you usually approach like someone for one of those conversations?
Right. So I usually like, it's never like forced and weird. I'm never like, oh, like, da, da, da. Like, I'm every day I'm always putting myself out there. So I just manage to talk to people. Or if I see someone that I feel like I absolutely have to talk to, I'll just start talking to you. I'll be like, oh, so uh, I don't even know how to start. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all natural. Like this, when I was walking by this guy's office, I'm like, this is one crazy story. So a few months ago when I came back home feeling so lost. I'm like, a lot of people around our age right now are just so lost, and it's understandable. Some days you're just going to feel a little bit more down than others. So one of my friends from the Bahamas called me this night. He goes, oh, like, how are you? Da, da, da. Like, could tell my energy was off. I'm usually like high energy, like always super happy. And he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I just came back home and I feel lost. I don't know what direction to take. Like, I have a direction, but I'm not sure if I'm in the right direction and this and that. And he was like, don't worry about it. You're going to figure it out. Just pray about it. And I'm not like super religious. I'm more like spiritual, and it's everything's energy and frequency, vibration. That's like a whole other conversation for me. But I was like, yeah, you're right. So I prayed about it. And I kind of, the next morning, I meet this guy on the street, like right by his office. And then I start talking to him, like, oh, what do you do? Like, because I was seeing his whole setup. And then he showed me his office and his whole system. Basically, we end up talking for at least an hour. He goes to me, which a lot of strangers tell me, you're genuine, you're real, you have it. That's basically like the majority of what they say. This guy hands me $1,000 in cash in hundreds, so randomly. Just met him an hour ago. The day after this, my friend in the Bahamas told me to pray about it, and the guy, and he's like, "You're gonna figure out your sign." The guy that I meet the very next morning goes, "You're on the right path. You're genuine, real. If you need a sign, this is your sign. Take this and put it towards your business." So, guy gave me $1,000 in cash in hundreds. I just reinvested it into the business, and I'm still going. He literally gave me the hope to keep going. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Did you
Like,
get the guy's name, or you keep in touch
yeah,
with him at
I
all?
keep in touch with him. Yep. He's really smart. And this guy's connected to the CEO group of like 20 guys that are like the top 1% of the area, like in between Miami and Palm Beach, I'd like to say. They have a meeting twice a month of it's like 20 CEOs, and they talk about the next investments they want to be making, the the business deals they're closing, and every time one of these guys sells their companies, they have to take the whole group of 20 guys on a trip. So like last week was Vegas. They all flew out on private jets, like stayed there for the weekend, just had fun because one of the guys like sold one of his businesses. So this is the type of people I've managed to find myself to
That's
connect
sick.
with. Isn't that crazy? And so now
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like the
really
Shark
cool.
Tank phase, I feel like. Maybe I'll be on Shark Tank one day, but for now, some of these people that I know want to be investing into the company and stuff, but I don't know if I want to bring people on
Yeah,
yet.
you don't need
It's
it
a
yet.
whole
Just
right.
keep
I don't
doing
need it
you.
yet. I don't. This guy's like one of the guys I know. He's like, I can get all these people. We could put in like I don't know 500K into marketing and just blow it up. I'm like, oh okay, yeah, like, great idea. I'm gonna give it a couple months, try to grow it myself, and if I have to do the Shark Tank thing with this CEO group, I mean, it's all fun too. So I'm just gonna see how
Yes.
I feel about it, see where it takes me. Yeah,
Have you
every
had
day.
any distractions that like you're like, damn, I'm going off path. I need to steer back on the road.
Right. So every day there's distractions that come in and out of your life. I get like a lot of opportunities shine in front of my face, or people will come in and out of my life, but I just have to stay true to myself and my message and just stay focused. Really, it's all discipline. Like, beautiful part of having your own brand or your own business is that everything's up to you. Like, you want to wake up today and make it happen and move forward, that's all up to you. You don't want to do it, that's up to you. You want to go out like every night, you can do that. You want to surround yourself with people in frats and sororities, you can do that. But nothing wrong with that. That's just I'm on a different path right now. So it's like all these people come in and be like, "Oh, come to the frat party. Let's do this. Come out. Do this. Do that." Like, like people that are like always drinking and stuff. I'm like, I stay far away from that and focus on like just like last month I was offered like to do a flight attendant job in like Arizona because like one of my friends like was like, oh my god, they need flight attendants, you should so do it because you love to travel and it'd just be free flights. I'm like, that's holding me back from my dream. If I want to travel, I can travel for Malolo and I'll just travel with my ideas. Like I don't care what anyone offers me, I'm going to stay on this path. And although like okay, like flying for free is so sick, but I'm going to get to that level where I'm flying all the time. You know what I mean? I don't need someone to give me yeah, I don't need someone to give me free flights. That's like part of what I'm saying is opportunity will always come into your life. People will always come into your life, but you just got to keep your eye on the prize. Like keep your eye just like when a dog fetches for the stick. The dog is only focused on that stick and everything around you just blinders on and keep pushing forward to where you want to go. If the people around you aren't helping you do that or are like completely like veering you off your path and distracting you, then run the other direction. I
Yep.
mean, maybe eventually in the future you guys can come back together and something can work, but for now, just it's a lonely game sometimes, but that's what it takes, you know?
And how long did it take for you to get that focus? Like, let's say you were in Hawaii, you were doing this, you're making this product. How long did it take for you to be like, all right, let's get serious about this?
Okay, like instantly because I'm so passionate about it. Like the second I met this lady, I had the vision and I was like, I'm going to do this all day, every day. And that's what I've been doing because literally this is not work for me. I get up and I do like I work on my dreams. I'm working towards my goals. I'm building up my own personal dream. So when you're doing that at this early stage, it's also fun because it's also new and you see some idea that was just stuck in your brain for years turn into a physical product and turn into like your reality. And so it's so much fun. Like you can never get over it. You know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, since the beginning, I'm like so into it. Cause yeah, I always had it in me. I just had to, um, yeah. And it kind of just worked out. And now I'm just sticking with it. And it's going to take me to the next step and the next step. And I'm going to take over the world of skincare,
I love the mindset.
right?
Yeah.
It's all life is mental. Everything in life is mental. It's a mindset. So if you tell yourself you're going to run a marathon and you believe in yourself, you're going to run that marathon. And if you have any doubt, you're probably not. So just it's like confidence, right? You have to try to go into everything with confidence and try to go into everything with no care of what anyone else is going to say or do because a lot of the time it's that person has the fear, right? So if I'm like, yeah, I feel like I want to go live in LA once like like 1 week out of every month and then someone tells me
You're
oh
not going
but
to do that.
yeah but
Yeah.
like LA is so scary and like like TikTok is toxic, you shouldn't try to grow your social media. That's their own personal fear. If you feel that's right for you, you should just stick with it and like block out that advice because some of the time people are just like putting you down because they wouldn't do it themselves or they'll judge you because they have that fear. But if you don't and if you have the fire, light it up, keep lighting it up, burn it up because no one's stopping you but yourself. So you have the potential to do whatever. There's no limits.
And what's your biggest piece of advice to give out there before we finish off?
Oh boy. Okay. Oh, that's such a hard question. Okay. What would you say today, just based on your day? What would you say the number one piece of advice would be? Both of you. Like, what would you
From
guys say?
everything you've talked about?
Sure. Or
Xander,
just
you go first, Xander.
I would say the moral of the story from a lot of the advice that you gave off and just from what happened to you is kind of just keep going with the flow, but also being positive. You seem very positive, and I think that negativity is the worst thing to have in any like surrounding you. I just feel
yeah.
like the positive people prosper. Positive people prosper. I like that. So
Good will
I would
outshine the
say
bad.
that. Yep.
I
Nice.
learned that be open. Be open to new ideas, be open to new people coming in your life,
Right.
positive or negative, because if it's negative, then you push them right on the side. If they're positive, you take them in. You learn. Yeah, you like
Yeah.
basically learn from everything. So now what's your advice to give out there?
I kind of already said it, but I would say block everyone, block everything follow your passion, because when you're like when you're 95 years old or whatever age you're at, when you're older and you look back on your life and you think, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, and you didn't, then you're going to be sitting there not being able to do any of what you thought of. Like, don't let your thoughts stay as thoughts. Don't let your dream just sit in your dream box. Really, just go out there and attempt. Try once, because if you try, you never know what's going to happen. So, do you want to have regret and like just play it safe? I mean, a lot of people feel comfortable like a routine and normal situations, and like, they like sticking with a path. But
They feel
if you
comfortable
don't
not getting uncomfortable.
Right. I would say, if you don't seek the discomfort, then you may miss out on a lot of opportunity out there, and you may not find yourself fully. Because I feel like the number one thing at this time in our life, it's for us to learn who we are, discover our passions, what we want to do, where we want to be. And if you don't give that a chance, then you're just going to be flowing through the motion of life and thinking back like, wow, what if I tried? Just try. What's the worst that can happen? You're so young and you have so much time ahead of you. If you start now, you may like blow up this huge brand, and then what if you if you think about it later in life, you don't have as much bleh. You don't have as much time and energy to do everything that you could have done when you were younger. And a lot of people are more open to young entrepreneurship and young, fresh ideas. So when you're like right out of high school having these ideas, don't think it's crazy. Just go do it. You never know. And better to do it now than wait. Don't wait for anyone. Don't wait around. Just don't let the fear take over your life, because then you'll blink and it'll pass by, and time moves. So you just got to keep trying your best and follow your heart. That's what I would say, I think.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We both learned a
Yeah,
lot.
thank you. It was a pleasure talking to you.
So much fun. I feel like I took over the whole thing.
No, it was for you anyway. So
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All right, for the people who are still watching, make sure you like and subscribe to the video and follow the social medias Kicking Ass with Tanner Stone. And you want to shout out your website?
Oh, right. Okay. So it's Malolo Sun, Malolo, Malolo, Malolo.sun on Instagram. Yeah, and then you can find my main through my Malolo.sun, malolosun.com.
You're gonna hear of her whether you like it or not. She's gonna be famous.
you'll hear about it.
Cheers, guys. Have a great day.
See ya. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. See you guys next week. Bye.